All right, thank you guys, and welcome to some American Athletic Conference action for College Football Week 12. Of course, my name is Brock Page, and it's great to have you here today. And with that said, let's go ahead and dive into some Week 12 AAC action. And we're going to actually start off with a Thursday night game here. I'm talking about Tulane squaring off against Tulsa, and that's going to be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff this Thursday night. The Golden Hurricane of Tulsa are -6 at home, totals 54. We're 2-0 in our last two extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's daily best play, if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you $2.99. We're also hitting at 62% in our last 13 daily best plays on that site as well. And if you want to access today's daily best play, that's only going to cost you just $1.99. Now, we currently have over 725 members signed up and active on that page. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And when it comes to this Tulane-Tulsa matchup here, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane are coming fresh off their fourth straight victory of the season. They're 4-0 straight up in their last four ball games, 3-1 against the number in those contests. This Tulsa defense is allowing just 21 points a game and less than 240 yards a game through the air. Now, they do have double-digit sacks on the season, along with a dozen takeaways as well. Zaven Collins has 3 interceptions from that linebacker position, 2 forced fumbles, and a pick 6. Collins also has 34 tackles, along with 2 PBUs and 4 sacks. Safety Kendaren Ray also leads this Tulsa defense with 36 total tackles on the season, along with 4 PBUs himself. And like I said in my earlier podcast, PBU is a pass breakup. I also use the term PD, pass deflection, Anyway, moving on. Anthony Goodlow also has a trio of sacks from the D-line, 16 total tackles for Goodlow. Meanwhile, on the offensive side, the Golden Hurricane, they've rushed for over 800 yards on the ground, along with 8 rushing touchdowns. Tulsa successfully covered the point spread in 6 out of their last 7, hosting Tulane. And speaking of the Green Wave, Tulane's throwing for less than 185 yards a game on the road. Tulane's also completing just 52% of their passes on the season. Meanwhile, defensively, the Green Wave defense is giving up 34 points a game on the road, and they're also giving up over 345 pass yards a game away from home as well. Tulane's lost 12 out of their last 18 road games if you're into historical trends. And when it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of Tulane's last 8 ball games got over the posted number. Meanwhile, 2 out of Tulsa's last 3 ball games got over the line themselves. Give me the Tulsa Golden Hurricane -6 and the over 54 in that contest. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for, once again, College Football Week 12. And this is the AAC edition, the American Athletic Conference. But before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are 2-0 in our last 2 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also hitting at 62% in our last 13 daily best plays on that site as well. And if you want to access today's daily best play, that's only going to cost you just $1.99. Now, we do have currently over 725 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at East Carolina Temple. Not sure if that's on the board. I did not confirm it. No, it's not on our board. But anyway, East Carolina Temple That's going to be a 12 p.m. Eastern start time in South Philly. The Temple Owls are -2 with the total at 63. Temple's lost their last 4 straight, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6. The Owls are giving up 39 points per contest, nearly 200 yards a game on the ground. Meanwhile, offensively, Temple scoring just 22 points a game. Now, their top rusher, Ramon Davis, has scored just 1 rushing touchdown all season, and he averages just 51 yards a game on the ground. Davis is also averaging less than 4 yards a carry, and once again, that's their leading rusher. This Temple O-line has given up 13 sacks on the season, and the Temple quarterback rotation, I guess that's what you want to call it, they've thrown 9 interceptions. Now, the Owls are taking on an ECU program who successfully covered the point spread in 2 out of their last 4 road games. The Pirates are scoring 30 points a game when they travel, and they're rushing for nearly 150 yards a game on the road. Running back Rajay Harris has carried it 114 times for 561 yards and 4 scores. Harris has a receiving touchdown out of the backfield as well. And as much as this ECU defense has struggled in certain spots, they do have a dozen takeaways on the season. Defensive back Warren Saba has a pair of interceptions from this secondary, 30 total tackles and a pick 6. Meanwhile, linebacker Xavier Smith currently leads the team in tackles with 57 of them. Now, total-wise, East Carolina's 4-0 to the over on the road this season, 5-2 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, Temple on the other side is 2-0 to the over at Lincoln Financial Field, 4-2 to the over for the entire year themselves. I'm going to lean toward an underdog in this matchup here. Give me the underdog East Carolina Pirates +2 and the over 63 in that contest. Next matchup, once again, another one that should be on the board. Really surprised we're not seeing it in the 12 o'clock slate here. But anyway, Houston, SMU, 12 p.m. Eastern start time at Southern Methodist. SMU's -3 at home, total 69 and a hook. The Mustangs have won 2 out of their last 3. 98 total points they scored in those 2 victories. SMU's also successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4 home games, 3-1 straight up in those contests. Now, SMU scoring nearly 40 points a game on average, and they're throwing for nearly 320 yards a game. Quarterback Shane Bichelle has thrown for over 2,700 yards thus far in the season, along with 21 touchdown passes. Now, his favorite targets have been Rashee Rice, who has 43 catches for 637 yards and 5 touchdowns. And tight end Kylan Granson also has 32 grabs for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns himself. The Mustangs are also rushing for nearly 200 yards a game on the ground. Ulysses Bentley IV has rushed for 877 total yards and 11 touchdowns. Now, the Mustangs have scored 21 times on the ground this year. Meanwhile, defensively, SMU's got 23 total sacks thus far in the season, along with 15 takeaways. Cornerback Brandon Crossley has 4 interceptions out of the secondary, 5 PBUs and a pick 6. Trevor Denbo also has an interception out of his linebacker position, 33 total tackles and 3 forced fumbles for Denbo. Meanwhile, Delano Robinson currently leads the team in tackles with 71 of them, along with 3 sacks. Now, SMU has been victorious in 8 out of their last 9 at Ford Stadium. They are taking on a Houston squad who lost 2 out of their last 3, and they gave up 82 total points in those losses. They're also giving up over 190 yards a game on the ground. Out of Houston's last 20 ball games over the past couple of seasons, they've been victorious in just 7 of them. Quick math, 7 times 205, 35%. Not very good. Now, total-wise, 25%, yeah, 35%, I believe. That's not very good. You guys can fact-check that. But anyway, total-wise, 2 out of Houston's last 3 ball games stayed under the posted total. Meanwhile, SMU saw 3 out of their last 4 home games stay under the line themselves. Give me the SMU Mustangs -3 and the under 69.5 in that ball game. And with that, we're going to dive into our next matchup. Definitely not going to be on our board. Stephen F. Austin squaring off against Memphis. 12 p.m. Eastern start time at the Liberty Bowl. The Tigers of Memphis are -30 at home. Total's 58 and a hook. Memphis has won 3 out of their last 4 ball games. They're also a perfect 4-0 straight up at home. And they average 41 points per contest in the Liberty Bowl. Quarterback Brady White's thrown for over 2,100 yards on the season, along with 22 touchdowns. Wide receiver Calvin Austin III has 36 grabs for 647 yards and 7 touchdowns. And of course, tight end Sean Dykes also has caught 32 balls for 435 yards and 6 touchdowns as well. The Tigers are gaining over 550 yards of total offense per game. They've won their last 12 straight ball games at home. Now, total-wise, the Tigers should be able to put this one over the line themselves. That's my analysis of the total. Give me the Memphis Tigers minus 30 and the over 58.5 in that game. That was some lazy breakdown right there. But anyway, sometimes it's that easy. Who knows? But anyway, next matchup. This is the one to look out for. Cincy UCF, 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff at the Bounce House. The Bearcats are minus 5.5 on the road. Total 62 points. Cincinnati 7-0 straight up on the season. 42 points a game on average of their scoring. The Bearcats have scored 15 touchdowns through the air and 24 TDs on the ground. Nearly 4 touchdowns a game they're rushing for. Running back Jared Dokes has touched it 109 times for 563 yards and 7 touchdowns. Dokes is averaging 5.2 yards per touch. Meanwhile, quarterback Desmond Ridder is averaging nearly 9 yards a carry. Absolutely phenomenal out of a quarterback. And he's punched it into the end zone 9 times on the ground himself. But it's not just all offense in Cincinnati this season. Actually, really, a lot of folks would say the cornerstone is the defense. This Bearcat D is giving up just a dozen points a game, and they're holding their opponents to under 190 yards a game passing. They also have 21 sacks on the year and a dozen interceptions. Cornerback Ahmad Gardner has a trio of interceptions from the secondary, 5 PBUs and 21 tackles for Gardner. Kobe Bryant, and that's Kobe spelled with the letter C, C-O-B-Y. But once again, Kobe Bryant also has 3 interceptions from that cornerback position, 5 PBUs and 24 total tackles for Bryant. Meanwhile, Jarrell White leads this Bearcat defense with 65 total tackles along with a pair of sacks. The senior linebacker also has 2 PBUs and a pick 6. One more defensive guy, can't forget about him, edge rusher Myjay Sanders. He's got 5 sacks on the year himself. Did not want to leave him out. But anyway, total-wise, 4 out of Cincy's last 6 contests stayed under the posted number. Their defense, once again, is giving up just a dozen points per contest. They've been outstanding. Meanwhile, UCF's last 2 outings stayed under the line themselves. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Cincinnati Bearcats, minus 5.5 in the under 62 in that contest. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It's an 8 o'clock game, and we do have it on our big screen. It is going to be Navy, South Florida, 8 p.m. Eastern kickoff in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Probably my favorite city in all of the United States. But anyway, the U.S. Naval Academy's minus 3 on the road, totals 56. Navy's won 3 out of their last 5 ball games, 2-1 straight up when they travel. The midshipmen have also successfully covered the point spread in 2 out of their last 3 road games as well. They're averaging over 30 points a game when they travel and over 225 yards a game rushing on the road as well. Nelson Smith is averaging 5.9 yards a carry, and he scored 7 times thus far in the season. Navy's also scored 14 total let's try that again. Navy's also scored 14 total touchdowns this season on the ground. They're taking on a USF program who just lost their 7th straight ball games. Things are not going all that great at UCF. Their only victory this season was their opener against Citadel. They only put up 27 on them, by the way. They did win, but wasn't a great outing. Now, the Bulls are scoring just 20 points a game and throwing for less than $195. USF is also averaging just 1 touchdown a game through the air. Their leading rusher on the team is also averaging just, did I say UCF? I mean USF. 35 yards a game on the ground. Equally as bad, the South Florida defense is giving up over 210 yards rushing a game at home. Now, total-wise, 4 out of USF's last 5 ball games got over the posted number. Meanwhile, Navy on the other side saw their last 2 straight ball games get over the line themselves. They're officially 5-1 to the over for the entire 2020 season. So with all that said and done, give me the Navy midshipmen minus 3 and the over 56 in that contest. I'm not really sure we're breaking down USF, South Florida. I don't know if I said UCF at all during that. I think I did, but we're not referring to UCF. UCF, I believe, is in Orlando. USF, beautiful Tampa. But anyway, we like Navy getting the job done in that one. And, man, I'm just rambling on. So let's wrap it up here, Brock. That's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.